You ever witness something so petty and outrageous that you can't decide whether to laugh or scream? That's exactly what ran through my head as I tightened the final bolt on a 6-foot-tall wooden fence. One that now split the lakefront in two, slicing through grass, dock, and water like it was drawn by a legal scalpel. Behind me, a dozen stunned neighbors stood speechless, watching this bold structure rise down the middle of what used to be shared paradise. Across the fence, Margaret, cousin to our infamous HOA president Karen, stood frozen, jaw slack as her luxury lounge chairs and jet ski ramp were now stuck behind a wall of lumber. It all began 5 years ago, when I bought my dream home in Willowbrook Estates. The biggest draw? Deeded lakefront access. That stretch of water became the heart of our summers. My kids and I would fish, swim, and play there every weekend. Then 6 months ago, Karen Fitzgerald took over the HOA. She quickly turned into a control freak, fining neighbors for grass height, banning wind chimes, even requiring written permission to plant unapproved flowers. Her power trip didn't stop there. Her brother-in-law landed a paid gig as the official landscaper, her childhood friend got the pool contract, and when her cousin Margaret arrived for an extended stay, the HOA rules apparently didn't apply. Margaret transformed the shared lakefront into her personal beach resort, loungers, tiki torches, a sound system, even a private jet ski ramp. It completely blocked access for everyone else. I approached her politely, reminding her the space was shared. She waved a document in my face, claiming Karen had granted her exclusive rights to that half of the lakefront. I looked it over, a sketchy easement reassignment supposedly approved in a unanimous HOA vote. Odd, considering 2 board members were out of state that week. Something felt off. I contacted city planning and property records. As I suspected, the lakefront was legally deeded to specific homes, including mine. HOA votes couldn't override that. At the next HOA meeting, I presented the facts. Karen turned beet red and claimed the HOA had amended its bylaws, giving them full authority over lakefront decisions. She threatened $500 per day fines and waived another undocumented bylaw allegedly passed in a meeting no one remembered. Meanwhile, Margaret doubled down. Her setup got louder and messier. When my 8-year-old daughter walked down for a swim, Margaret physically blocked her, declaring the space private. That moment broke me. My daughter came back in tears, and I knew it was time to act. As a contracts lawyer, I dove into the documents, my deed, HOA charters, old meeting notes. Everything confirmed the same truth. The HOA had no jurisdiction over deeded lakefront space, and interfering with it made them personally liable. I sent a certified notice to Karen and Margaret, giving them 72 hours to clear their stuff or face legal action. Instead of backing off, they showed up on my porch with a self-proclaimed lawyer and wild theories, squatters' rights, shared usage schedules, bribes. None of it held water. So I moved to phase 2. I hired a surveyor to mark the legal boundary of my portion of the lakefront. Margaret's beach empire was sprawled across both halves. With permits and survey in hand, I ordered fencing enough to make a statement. Word spread fast. By sunrise, I had a full crew building the fence straight across the shared waterfront, even down the middle of the community dock. Practical. Legal. Poetic. Margaret came out mid-installation. Her coffee mug hit the ground. Karen showed up in a bathrobe, foam curlers bouncing, shouting about vandalism and emotional distress. She called the police. They reviewed my paperwork and left. Code enforcement found no violations. Karen tried escalating it to City Hall, maybe even the Pentagon. Meanwhile, Margaret's resort was hilariously dysfunctional. Her jet ski ramp was unusable, her sound system cut in half, and her new shade pavilion awkwardly split by fence posts. That evening, Karen called an emergency HOA meeting and passed out flyers accusing me of being a menace. But it backfired. Neighbors were fed up. A retired judge calmly detailed Karen's violations. Sarah, whose garden had been torn out by Karen's landscapers, spoke up too. One by one, the neighborhood turned on her. Even Margaret's husband had enough. He showed up, took one look at the fence, then started dismantling her entire setup while muttering about the mess they were dragged into. Karen's final move was to declare an executive order demanding the fence be removed. But the HOA's own attorney shut her down, stating she had overstepped her authority and put the board at legal risk. The board voted unanimously to remove Karen, But that wasn't the end. A financial audit revealed she funneled HOA funds into fake easements and padded her brother-in-law's paychecks. 3 months later, Karen stood before a judge, charged with fraud, embezzlement, and breach of fiduciary duty. She was sentenced to 2 years probation, 300 hours of community service, and ordered to repay $47,000 to the HOA. Now, most mornings I sit by the lake with my coffee, admiring the straight fence and the peace it brought back to our community. If watching HOA tyrants get what's coming fires you up, hit that like button and subscribe. You won't believe what happened with the gazebo lady down the street.